What's up? My name's Lucas, and in today's video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know about Deep Ellum, which is a small pocket just east of downtown Dallas. So we're going to be covering things like bars, restaurants, main attractions, the overall vibe. Most importantly, going to talk about the safety score of this area, which is super important if you're thinking about living here. Every day I help tons and tons of folks such as yourself, whether that's moving to Dallas, living in Dallas, relocating to the area. So if there's something in this video that I don't cover, feel free to drop me a line. All of my information is down below. Give me a call, shoot me a text, drop me an email, and I'd be more than happy to help you answer any questions that you might have. So without any further ado, let's go check out Deep Ellum. Personally, I could probably spend a whole day out here just looking at the artwork. Deep Ellum is about 1 mile east of downtown Dallas. And as far as just some of the history of Deep Ellum, like back in the 1920s, you had a lot of jazz and blues musicians that migrated to this area. They came from all over Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, which was how Deep Ellum essentially got its heartbeat for blues and jazz music, but as well as rock and roll later in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. As far as the overall vibe, obviously you can see tons of spray paint, graffiti. I think there's over 30 live music venues. So for me personally, it reminds me of when I grew up in Austin, kind of like the 6th Street, even more like a Bourbon Street, for those of you that have been out to New Orleans. It definitely does feel a tad bit hipster. I mean, this is an area where you can grab dinner, go see a live concert, and go get a tattoo. And then you also have Main Street as well. So those are your two main streets, Commerce and Main. They both go from east to west, all throughout Deep Ellum, and that's where all of the main bars and attractions are going to be off of. And you compare Deep Ellum to other pockets of Dallas that I've made videos on, whether that's Knox Henderson, Bishop Arts, Lower Greenville. Deep Ellum is just a little more rugged. Like, I'm not going to say that it's not clean. There is a noticeable difference in just the venues, the scenery, the people, the buildings, everything around you in Deep Ellum is just a little more rustic, if you will. Just not as fancy and luxurious as other parts of Dallas are. And as far as Commerce Street, Main Street here in Deep Ellum, not a ton of shopping like your boutiques, department stores, etc. More drinking, eating, chilling, comedy stores, live music. And right here, we're outside of Dot's Hop House. I've been here once for a happy hour. Pretty cool spot. They've got over 100 beers on tap, typical bar food, burgers, fries, queso. Standing outside of Twilight Saloon, which is over my left shoulder. Last time I was here was a couple of years ago. My memory was kind of shoddy. It's kind of one of those nights, but regardless, so this is a NOLA styled bar. It's unlike any other bar in Deep Ellum. Kind of got like a French Quarter style courtyard, chandeliers, dark paneling, All of the booths in there actually have like a red velvet suede. So super unique for the area. Would highly recommend checking this spot out next time you're passing through. So we're way down on the end of Commerce Street. So essentially on the edge of Deep Ellum. It's a bar called Double Wide. So some of you might be thinking, Lucas, why is there a Double Wide in Fancy Pants, Dallas, Texas? Which is a fair point. But what they've got going on in here is like essentially when you walk in, it feels like an old school Western dance hall from the 70s. I'm talking urban cowboy style, John Travolta. I mean, it's a pretty cool spot. They've got like an outdoor patio as well, which is dog friendly. Don't know if you can see it over my left shoulder here, but lots of cool rustic yard art that they put on top of the fence. Definitely a must-see if you are in Deep Ellum. As far as the safety score here in Deep Ellum, I mean, I'll call a spade a spade. It's not the greatest, particularly when the sun goes down and the nightlife starts jumping. Obviously, during the day, you're free to roam around and wander and essentially do whatever you please. But much like any bar district, as that sun starts going down and you get into the wee hours of the night, that's when you do see crime take a slight uptick. And my Apple Watch just told me that I made it to 10,000 steps. So let's swing over to Terry Black's, which is one of the best barbecue spots in Deep Ellum. Let's grab a cold drink and take a seat and talk a little bit more about the area. Talking more about the rental market here in Deep Ellum. Again, you've got about 90% of the people that live here that are renters, and then the other 10% mainly living in condos, lofts. The median rent price in Deep Ellum is around $2,200, so not bad compared to other areas like Victory Park, for example. And if you live in Deep Ellum and if you have a mortgage, then you're most likely in a condo, a townhome, or a loft. The median age range is around 32 years old. About 85% of the folks that live here, work here, and play here are tied to white-collar jobs, which puts the average household income at around $60,000. Also gives you a grand population of around 3,800. Apartment complexes, there's about a dozen here in the Deep Ellum area, but there's really only two that I can personally recommend, just because I've recommended tons of clients to these apartments in the past and they've had glowing reviews. The first one would be the Crosby, and the second one would be the Marquis on Gaston. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop both of those in the description below so that you can check them out and do some more research. And that is going to wrap up our tour today of Deep Ellum. For those of you that have lived in Deep Ellum before, feel free to drop a comment. We love all of that stuff because it's only going to add more substance to the channel and help all of the viewers make informed decisions about moving to Deep Ellum, if not any pocket of DFW. And if you have any questions about the Deep Ellum area, feel free to drop me a line. All of my information is below in the description, and we would be more than happy to help you take a look around. So until next time, y'all be safe.